Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another Great British Hobbit League production. As always, you're here with James
and Jamie, and today we're going to be discussing the fight between Sons of Eorl and Knights of Rivendell.
And this has been a really exciting topic of debate on the forums. A lot of people have seen me using Sons of Eorl, and of course we've also done unboxings of Rivendell Knights.
Yep.
So there has been a bit of a discussion over which one wins, because they're approximately the same points cost.
They're exactly the same if you give these guys a shield.
Now we're using this to launch a new video series which we are going to be releasing pretty soon, which is going to be Middle-earth's Deadliest Warbands. And there's been lots of community interest about this, so we want to hear what you think Middle-earth Deadliest Warband is. Now there are some rules, aren't there, Jamie, for this type of video?
Yes, there are. If you want to submit your warband, the hero has to be unnamed and under 100 points. Not 100 points or plus, it's like 99 downwards. You've got to adhere to the bow limit, so if your force is 33% bows or 50% or 100%, as long as it adheres to that, it's going to be 220 points, and you've got one warband to fill up, so you can't have multiples, it's just that one. I think that was it.
There's been a couple of questions about things like the King's Champion, for example. Is he a named hero?
Well, I think he is a named hero, because he is the King's Champion.
Yeah.
Like, the sort of precedence in all of the cases has been like the Spider Queen is a named hero because it's got the in front of it.
Yeah.
So it's the one and only.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That
But also
sense.
King's Champion's 125 points. I know this includes his heralds, but he's over 100 points, so you can't take him.
Okay, so that is against the rules. So you need to start thinking of what you think Middle-earth's Deadliest Warband is going to be. We are going to have a kind of tournament format. We're going to run through various categories which we think are important for each model,
Yes. Yeah.
such as stat lines.
Oh, mate. War gear. We doing one each.
Yeah, lists and heroes.
Battlefield roll.
And then we're going to sort of do an overall conclusion before actually playing them out and having a fight. It's all about the fight at the end. And then we're going to see who wins the title of Middle-earth's Deadliest Warband. Now we are kicking this off with a little bit of a special edition.
Yeah.
As we said, this special edition is going to be covering the Sons of Eorl versus Rivendell Knights, because we have a little bit of a personal debate over which ones we think are better. So prepare, guys, for Middle-earth's Deadliest Warband. Okay, so we're going to start things off with the stat lines. Let's kick off with
The Knights of Rivendell.
Knights.
Well, the Knights of Rivendell are Fight 5 with a 3+ shoot value. They've got Strength 3 as standard, Defense 5, 6 when you pay for the shield, which you will be because it brings them to the exact same points. 1 attack, 1 wound, and Courage 5.
So I'm going to talk you through Sons of Eorl. Now, Sons of Eorl have a Fight 4. Now, it might not be Fight 5 like the Elves, but a lot of the enemies that you're going to come up against are going to be Fight 4 or less. They are also Strength 4, which is a key advantage.
It is, yes.
We're also Defense 6 standard, that's because they come with the shield, and they are 2 attacks, which is another advantage
Very nice.
over the Rivendell Knights. They are 1 wound, just like the Rivendell Knights, and they are Courage 4, which is pretty standard for
Sort of your elite men.
Elite men, guys. So, when it comes down to the stat lines,
We're going to give the edge to the Sons of Eorl purely for their 2 attacks and Strength 4. The fact that they'll be wounded on 5 pluses at all points during the game is key for them.
yeah, very, very, very key.
Yeah.
Our second area of comparison is going to be war gear.
Should we start with the Sons of Eorl this time?
Yeah, let's start with the Sons of Eorl. So the Sons of Eorl, with their war gear, they come with an armoured horse. Now, armoured horses are really important when you are up against bowfire in particular.
Yeah.
It means you are much more likely to hit your enemy's battle line without being shot off your horse, which is a big problem for cavalry against bows. They also come with a pure blood steed. This is 12-inch movement, and the number of times this has given me a massive advantage on the battlefield, or even my opponents tend to forget.
Yes.
Quite a lot.
They go, oh, that's cavalry, that's 10 inches.
Yeah,
Right,
we're out of range.
BAM!
Whoa,
Charged!
that's right. That's right. Charles means business. That's right.
The ginger Son of Eorl.
Yeah, that's not why I called him Charles.
Yeah. And then their actual...
Yeah, they've got a shield, so they're 22 points, and that 22 points factors in that shield. A Knight of Rivendell is usually 21 points plus the shield, so it becomes 22. They come with that shield, and they also carry that big intimidating axe. Now, with the new special strikes, if you've not seen the special strike videos, we do recommend that you go and give them a go.
Yeah.
Have a little look. With the special strikes, that means that we can piercing strike.
So onto the Knights of Rivendell. This is the sort of category that I'm confident with these guys should win because they're equipped with sort of everything under the sun. They've got their elf bow, so it gives them a dual role. They can be both attacking and hitting from range to do damage at all times. They've got a lance, which greatly increases their probability to win when they win the fight when they charge in. It works on all scales, not just evens. So, you know, if I charged against defense 7, I'd still be winning it on 5s, whereas you'd be stuck on 6s. They have more dice, but I'd have the easier sort of score to reach. They've got an elven blade, so on the off chance I come up against other elves or corsair reavers, I can elect to use the elven blade, and I'll more likely to win the fight on a draw and roll off. We've got just a regular horse, which is 10-inch movement, so unfortunately the Sons of Eorl get the bonus there. But they are woodland creatures, and this applies to the entire model. So you've got 12-inch movement at all times. I've got the ability to run through woods.
Which is nice, this is really important.
Very nice for cover, because usually you'd be reduced down to a quarter of your movement, so these guys will be moving 3 inches through a wood, whereas I'm getting that 7-inch jump on them. Or anyone.
Now, both our observations on the Rivendell Knights is when it comes to war gear, they are the Apache gunship of troops. So this comes down to whether when it comes down to war gear, you want an armoured horse that moves 12 inches, and you want an axe. But I mean, to be fair, you can model any model with an axe. You could put an axe on a Rivendell Knight if you wanted to. And it's whether you want any of those three as war gear, or whether you'd prefer to have an elven bow, a lance, so all of a sudden you've got a good balance really of different tactics. You've got more variety of what you can do. You know, you can stay at range or you can charge in. An elven blade, a normal horse, but it is a woodland creature.
Yeah.
So we're gonna compare the two now.
Yep.
Who wins in the war gear faction?
I believe the Knights of Rivendell are going to win this one. They got the edge for war gear.
Yeah, we'll give the elves that one. You know, they need a little bit of a bump up, I think, in this contest. They are the Apache gunship of models. They do have everything when it comes to war gear.
Yeah.
So we're going to move on.
Next is going to be their list that they appear in and the heroes that appear in that list. Now we'll start this time with the Knights of Rivendell. We seem to be alternating, so we'll keep it in this fashion. Knights of Rivendell. Their list is that they are the only troop in their list. You're going to get no other variety if you're taking a pure force of them. The heroes are Lindir, a Rivendell Knight Captain, and Elrond. Now these are very expensive heroes to take, but they synergise well together. Lindir is going to make them resistant to magic, so if you're up against opposing Nature's Wrath or Sorcerer's Blast, there's a chance you're going to resist and not lose your horses. Elrond is his 3 attacks, 3 might, 3 will, 3 fates, 3 wounds. He's a very well-rounded combat hero. But they are very expensive, and you know, if you want to take at least one of these guys in any force, you have to pay for the minimum, which is Lindir and a guy, so I think you're going to be paying 82 points minimum. It's cheaper than the captain.
Cheaper than the captain.
Yeah. But it comes at a cost of having 1 might and 1 attack.
Yeah, which is fantastic. Now if we compare that to the kind of heroes that you're likely to see when you're taking Rohan list and you want to take Sons of Eorl.
Yep.
Let's start off with Erkenbrand.
Erkenbrand, very good. He's going to give you that +2 courage. So he's going to make you courage 6, which then jumps you ahead of the elves for their courage 5. So they're going to be sticking around for a long time.
And he's cheap as chips.
Yeah, 65 points, 10 with the horse, 75. He's a great hero.
And you're going to see, if you don't see Erkenbrand in a Rohan list,
they're playing it wrong.
Okay, so moving on to Eomer. Now Eomer's got 2 profiles.
Yeah.
He's got 2 profiles. You've got one which is the cheap version, which has got lots of war gear options.
Yeah, Marshal of the Riddermark.
Marshal of the Riddermark, and then you've also got probably my favourite hero to play with, which is Eomer, Knight of the Pelennor.
Yeah,
Knight of the Pelennor. It's a gorgeous model, and it's a great profile. It's a really, really good profile. So let's talk about Marshal of the Riddermark first. He is a lot cheaper. You do sacrifice quite a few things for him.
Yes.
You lose the ability to have an armoured horse.
Yep.
You go down to having 2 attacks base.
And 2 wounds.
And 2 wounds base.
Yep.
And you
lose your strength 5 on the charge as well.
Which is massive. Strength 5 is amazing. We've
It's
seen this
great.
with Dwalin, not to mention it too much.
Yeah.
We've seen this with Dwalin, it's great.
Yeah.
No. Strength 5 on the charge is for winners.
It is.
It makes a big difference.
Let's keep this more towards the actual models, though, not the heroes, because we don't care about them. This is about the models.
Yeah, sorry.
See, the expense of having these big heroes is that they're going to cost more, so it's going to cost more to bring the troops into the game. But it's the fact that they're supported by them. So Erkenbrand does a good job of negating their courage factor, but Eomer simply adds that punch to the army.
Adds that punch. Now the key thing with Rohan is, talking about what Jamie's talking about, is that you can also bring Eorl in.
Yes. She's 30 points, and so she's cheapest church, 2 might, fight 5, 1 attack, strength 3, but she's there as more of your might caddy and throws the fight value in every now and then.
But let's say you were purely taking a Rohan Sons of Eorl and a lot more of the Sons of Eorl in than you are going to be getting in of Rivendell Knights, because we can take a cheap hero.
Yes, dirt cheap heroes. Your captains as well, I think they're 40 points standard.
I think so.
And so for
And
that,
if we compare the captains as well, because this is what you're likely going to see when we do the fight off, you'll be comparing a captain
versus
captain. Now the captain of Rohan is fight 4, so he's going to be losing out there. He's strength 4.
So nothing's changed there for my hero strength 4 as well.
Strength 4 as well. I mean, most captain profiles are the same, and I'm guessing that they're pretty much the same, apart from.
I've got the higher fight, the higher courage value, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
But I come equipped with all my gear, whereas you need to buy it all as well.
Yeah. So I think a captain of Rohan starts off at 45 points. You want to put him on a horse, so you're keeping up with his Sons of Eorl. It's 10 points.
Well, sort of keeping him, lagging behind.
You can heavy armour, so he goes up to D6 as well. You can take a bow, but no point really, I don't think. A shield, he has to take that, then he's going up to D7. And throwing spears as well, which can be quite handy on the charge. So when it comes down to comparing the lists and the heroes and the kind of lists that you can take, the main area where the Knights of Rivendell are going to suffer is that there are currently no other troops.
No other troops, and the heroes are expensive. For this section, the Sons of Eorl are going to get the edge on it, aren't they?
Woohoo! That's 2-1.
2-1 to the Sons of Eorl. Now, the final one is their role in the battlefield. That's the final category we're going to discuss. And we'll start with the Knights of Rivendell. Oh, we'll start with them again, yeah. These guys... Yeah, because you're winning. These guys have got their big benefit, the fact that they are sort of the most versatile cavalry in the game. They can perform... They're the jack of all trades and master of none. Maybe shooting. They harass, they are very specialist, they're going to weaken the line and threaten heroes and charge in only when it really benefits them to do so. You can't just throw them in against anything because they suffer, as all cavalry do. If you don't get the charge off the next turn, you're going to get swarmed, you've got your 1 dice. The higher fight would maybe pay some points back, but you can't always rely on just rolling a 6. And they're really a counter unit, aren't they?
Yeah, and another key thing to note is they get to take 100% bows, which is really handy.
Yeah, you can put out a lot of firepower if you do decide to go pure Knights of Rivendell.
But it does mean that you are having to choose at any one moment to sort of negate a lot of where the points are going. Yeah. So, are you going to stay back and shoot, or are you going to go and be aggressive? Yeah. Or you're going in on the charge, and at which point you have to be really, really careful, like you do with any cavalry.
Yeah, you need to make sure that you're going to win a lot of those fights, and you're more than likely going to kill with 4 dice and a lance, but it's really just picking your fights very carefully. I mean, the fact they can skirt around through woodland terrain means that if people come to you, you can sit in that terrain, probably with a 4+ cover save, shoot, and when they come to you, they're then in the wood, and you can either jump out of it, keep shooting them, or if you feel confident, charge in, because you retain your charge bonuses for being a woodland creature. So they add sort of that really harassing factor.
Let's talk about the battlefield role of the Sons of Eorl.
Yes.
Now the great thing about the Sons of Eorl, and the reason why I take so many, I used to only take 2 in my Rohan list, but when I was trying to optimise the list, and the issue with that was that they become target priority for your enemy. The enemies are quite scared of, that strength 4, 12-inch movement,
3 attacks on the charge.
3 attacks on the charge. Become wary, they become target priority, they get taken out of the game. This is why I now take 4. Okay, I take 4 because they're less likely to be taken out of the game.
You have to lose them all before you reach combat.
They give the enemy something to really, really worry about, like to really think about. I think Rivendell Knights do that as well.
Yeah.
But it gives something to really worry
about. Your Sons of Eorl are essentially a captain's profile without the might.
Yeah. Now, the lack of might, you know, is a problem, because sometimes you charge them in, and as you saw in a battle report, me versus Steve, you know, Ranger of the North took down the Son of Eorl. It was very upsetting. It was a horrible moment for me. I've still not recovered. But what the Sons of Eorl are great at is, what you tend to see a lot of is, you know, a shield wall, and then you've got a line of spears behind. Because these guys are getting 3 attacks on the charge, that means that they are capable of standing toe to toe with a battle line, and getting them in there and doing that. Not only that, one of the big fragilities of cavalry is that counter charge. So you lose priority and you get counter charge. With their defense 6, with their 2 attacks base, they are more likely to survive than, I think, your Knights of Rivendell when you get swamped, which inevitably happens. And this means it gives you a really good way of using them as well. You can get them in there, you can punch a hole, you can hold out, you get swarmed, and then you can be clever and you can keep the rest of your riders, your Westfold Red Shields, your Riders of Rohan slightly back, and then you can do the counter charge, so you're still getting that in. So they really, really, really make an all-cavalry army work.
Yeah. If you're going full Rohan force, you want the Sons of Eorl in there to give you that extra punch and to be able to hang around and sort of play the long game.
Their anti-armour as well, that axe, being able to piercing strike, is phenomenally handy, especially when you're isolating troops and they're shielding, which is brilliant. That extra movement is invaluable and always catches my opponents off guard. They will always forget, they will always mismeasure. It happens every time. Armoured horses means that they're more likely to get to the battle line than a Rivendell Knight would be. More likely to get there and do the job. And when they get there, they are more likely to survive if you lose priority and get swarmed.
Or the heroic move.
Or the heroic move, yeah. Or the heroic move. They really are hard hitters. They really are hard hitters. And this is probably the most difficult.
This is the one with most contention. We've decided to give it to the Knights of Rivendell purely for the versus match.
If we come down to a conclusion, even though they're both cavalry, they've got 2 completely different roles and ways of playing. You've got to play them completely differently. Sons of Eorl negate a lot of the areas where cavalry suffer.
Yes.
You know, which is when you get charged. They negate that. They've got strength 4 just to fight back if they win the fight. Defense 6, less likely to die, and they've got that 2 attacks.
They also are good anti-cavalry because when you charge in, you still get your 2 attacks, which is what I'm quite worried about for the battle reports.
But they do have a ton of war gear and they do provide a massive tactical options, and they've got some great heroes. It's just that it's going to be expensive to take them, and at the moment it's not a fully developed list.
Yes,
When that list develops, which hopefully it does,
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it gets rolled into the Rivendell list, so you can take your foot troops along with these guys.
Yeah, that would be great.
That'd be ideal.
That would be ideal. So we've scored this.
And we've come to 2-2, it's a draw. 2-2. So it is going to come down to whatever happens with the dice in that fight.
So keep watching out for the videos, and next up we are going to do a fight between the Sons of Eorl versus
the Knights of Rivendell. Did you forget who your guys were called then?
No. There's a dramatic pause.
Yeah, sure.
Building up drama, Jamie, for our audience.
Yeah, sure.
As always, this has been James and Jamie from the Great British Hobbit League YouTube channel. Keep supporting, subscribing and sharing. Leave your comments below. Happy strategy battle gaming, guys.
Bye everyone.